Connecting the vibrant city and the international entertainment paradise on Hon Tre Island is the Vinpearl Nha Trang cable car, over 3,300 m long, with breathtaking views embracing the most beautiful bay scenery on the planet. Not just a means of transportation. Bringing tourists to Hon Tre Island, Vinpearl Nha Trang cable car is also considered a classy wonder with attractive beauty in the middle of a poetic bay. This is the longest sea-crossing cable car in the world and is a place that will bring you many interesting experiences during your trip to Nha Trang. After a period of temporary shutdown for maintenance, Vinpearl Nha Trang cable car, the world's legendary longest sea-crossing cable car in Nha Trang, will reopen from the end of January 2024. King's Garden Nha Trang is known as the only zoo in Nha Trang with many interesting experiences for each visitor. Nha Trang will definitely be a destination not to be missed on a self-sufficient trip to Nha Trang. However, few people know that there is a super attractive coordinates here, King's Garden, a beautiful zoo on Hon Tre Island for all ages. Get the experience of exploring King's Garden Zoo right away. Exploring King's Garden Nha Trang, visitors will be immersed in a world of rare animals and admire nearly 30 colorful bird species. Bird World. Be fascinated with the beauty of nearly 30 species of birds belonging to 15 families of feathers from many countries around the world, all creating a colorful, brilliant picture of the entire region. Meet giraffes. Moving to Quy Vuong Garden, visitors will encounter friendly giraffes. You can feed them, pet them, and take beautiful pictures as souvenirs. Flamingos. Feast your eyes on the majestic beauty of hundreds of beautiful American flamingos. This place is also one of the perfect touches that beautify this attractive land. Explore the world of hippos, with large, round bodies and often soaking in deep lakes. The hippos in King's Garden will definitely make you extremely excited. Bengal tiger, the most abundant tiger species in Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and southern Tibet. However, recently this individual has been on a decreasing trend. Only in Vietnam, visitors will be able to see the Bengal tiger with their own eyes at King's Garden Zoo on Ben Wonders Nha Trang campus. Visiting the bird performance stage area on the King's Garden campus, visitors will be able to admire 10 performances of 10 rare bird species. Impressive dances led by talented instructors promise to bring you many different emotions. After the performance, you can absolutely get up close to these talented actors and take pictures with them. Introduction to the Ba, Nha Trang. Thap Ba, Nha Trang, also known as Thap Ba Poagar, Yang Pol Nu, is a unique architectural work of the ancient Kampa people. This is a spiritual place loved by many tourists on their trip to Nha Trang. Ba Ham is located on a small hill on the Cai River in Vin Phuc Ward, Nha Trang. This is the place to worship the goddess Poagar, the Divine Mother. According to the thoughts of the ancient Kampa people, the goddess Tien Y Ton Mao helps inspire life and regenerate the country. Based on experiences traveling to the Ba, Nha Trang recommends that readers choose to visit this place in September, April to June every year. At this time, the weather is bright and sunny. The weather is suitable for you to admire the beauty of the relic site. This is also the peak tourist season in Nha Trang, so you should book your flight to Nha Trang early to avoid running out of tickets. If you don't like crowds and noise, then visit and explore Thap Ba early in the morning to take beautiful and unique photos. The towers here are built of majestic bricks and terracotta mixed with the purple of the sunset or the yellow of the early morning, creating a mysterious and lyrical scene. First you will explore the first floor of Thap Ba. However, there are only small ruins left here such as pillars and covered stone steps, so you have to pay close attention to see them. The top floor has two main towers. The highest tower is the place to worship Mother Poagar. Thap Ba is built of very sturdy bricks and attached by special adhesive. From inside the tower, you can see the top of the tower with meticulous and characteristic decorative motifs. With extremely special design details, Poagar Tower has a mysterious beauty, attracting tourists from near and far to admire. Coming to the Upba, Nha Trang, readers can take unique photos with many landscapes in the tower, enjoy the unique dances of the Kampa people, or experience the mud bath service here. The Upba, Nha Trang is an extremely spiritual, religious, belief, and historical place sacred. Below are some things to note when traveling to the Upba to make the trip meaningful. Tourists should wear discreet, polite clothing. You can borrow long clothes right near the temple gate if you accidentally wear too short clothes. Tourists remember to remove their shoes before entering the temple to burn incense according to the regulations of the tourist area. Avoid talking loudly and making noise, do not litter, and throw trash in the right place. You should bring all your identification papers, technology tools, and battery chargers for your trip. In addition, if you are a hustler and passionate about food, visit the Upba, Nha Trang in the evening to enjoy. Hon Tre Nha Trang, legendary scenic spot of the coastal city. For the people of Nha Trang, no one does not know the scenic Hon Tre, a natural rocky beach that has existed for many generations, along with the formation and development of Nha Trang City. This natural masterpiece was classified as a national monument in 1998, and has become a must-see attraction when visiting Nha Trang. Just a rudimentary rocky beach jutting out into the sea, but why is Hon Tre so attractive to locals and tourists? According to many local records, Hon Tre Nha Trang is a large stone complex with many shapes located at the foot of La San Hill, naturally stacked on top of each other, running from the shore to the sea, creating an impressive natural layout. Statues and natural beaches that are both beautiful and sheltered from the wind. The Hon Tre rocky beach area seems to be separate from the bustle and hustle of the streets, and is said to be one of the most beautiful locations to view Nha Trang Beach. Coming to Hon Tre Nha Trang, you cannot miss it. Interesting legends related to a very large, deep hand-shaped indentation on a square rock facing the sea. Legend has it that, once upon a time, there was a giant who was traveling through mountains and rivers. He encountered a flock of fairies soaking in the cool blue sea water. He was engrossed in watching and accidentally slipped and fell. While struggling, the giant grabbed his hand on the mountain, causing rocks to fall and scatter everywhere, and one rock with his fingerprints rolled down to Hon Tre Rock Beach, while another rock with his footprints remained. Suat Yen area, Dien Kong. That's why the handprint rock here is said to be the remains of a lovesick giant, and the fairies' beach is called Koh Tien Beach, located very close to Hon Tre. Where is Bai Tran Nha Trang and detailed entertainment experiences. Nha Trang is known as the second most beautiful coastal city in Vietnam. And Bai Tran is also one of the beautiful beaches that makes many people ecstatic. In this article, we will explore with you the most unique features of Bai Tran Nha Trang. Bai Tran is one of the most beautiful island beaches in Nha Trang Bay, located on the romantic Han Mu. Bai Tran Nha Trang has a coastline up to 500 meters long. In particular, the coast is divided into two sides with unique scenery. On one side is a long, smooth white sand beach. On the other side is a beach of colorful pebbles that look very beautiful. This is what makes Bai Tran different from other beaches. Not stopping there, the sea water here is clear and clean all year round. Besides, Bai Tran Nha Trang also possesses a diverse marine ecosystem. Thanks to that, this place always attracts a large number of tourists to explore all year round. Not only from the beautiful landscape and nature, the people here are also very friendly. When you come to Bai Tran, you will be served wholeheartedly by the people of Trang Nguyen. Thanks to that, you can feel the closeness and intimacy of life here. Bai Tran Nha Trang with attractive beach games will be the ideal place for your next summer trip. Han Mo is an island located near the shore, about 6 kilometers from Nha Trang City. Therefore, from the city center, you have to go by boat to the island, then reach Bai Tran. Travel time takes about 30 minutes. From Nha Trang City to reach Bai Tran, you should drive to Kata Port. Here, you rent a canoe or boat to go to Bai Tran. There are many houseboats and canoes at the port ready to take you to Hon Tre Island. Cost is about 150,000 VND/person/turn. Introducing Hon Swa Nha Trang. Hon Swa or Swa Island is located on Tre Nguyen Island, Vin Nguyen Ward, Nha Trang Coastal City, Con Hoa Province. This location is about 6 kilometers from the city center, famous for its pristine beaches and beautiful, harmonious natural scenery. Currently, this location is also developing many tourism services to serve tourists such as campfires, diving to see coral, fishing. According to the experience of many travel enthusiasts, the ideal time for you to visit Nha Trang Pebble Island is from the beginning of March to the end of September. At this time, the weather is cool and sunny, which is suitable for bathing activities. See. During other times, you can also visit this place and experience dining and check-in activities. Tre Nguyen Aquarium, also known as Tre Nguyen Aquarium, this is one of the fun spots. A game you cannot miss when coming to Nha Trang Pebble Island. Here, you can see the species with your own eyes, rare fish such as Japanese carp, Napoleon pomfret, Picasso fish. General introduction about Hon Tam, the Green Island of Nha Trang. Hon Tam, also known by another name, Tui Kim Island. It is a small island in Nha Trang Bay with an area of about 110 hectares. Located in the middle of the blue sea and sky, covered by tropical forests and a white sand beach stretching more than 1 kilometer, clear sky, blue sea, white sand, golden sunshine, this is truly an island that has both mysterious wildness and its own charm. The sea water around the island is quite calm, the waves are calm, light. Therefore, this is a suitable place to grow pearls and is also the most attractive coral diving spot. Converging the above factors, Hon Tam is the ideal place when traveling to Nha Trang for those who love resort or ecotourism. Favored by nature, the weather in Nha Trang in general and Hon Tam in particular is relatively mild. Winter is not too cold, the weather is not too harsh like the north. But there is a long dry season, the average temperature is about 27 degrees Celsius, specifically the month with the highest temperature is August, 28 to 31 degrees Celsius, and March has the lowest temperature, 23.7 degrees Celsius. In general, this is a suitable temperature for relaxation. Therefore, you can travel to Hon Tam any season of the year. However, visiting Hon Tam between March and September will help you have a more complete trip. Nha Trang Fishing Village. Many tourists come to Nha Trang fishing villages to immerse themselves in the peaceful life of fishermen, enjoy fresh air and enjoy fresh seafood. Lang Chai Nha Trang. Each fishing village has its own beauty that makes your trip to Nha Trang more interesting. Nha Trang fishing villages are destinations that attract many tourists because of their simple, rustic beauty. Deserted, pristine. Waking up early in the morning in one of the fishing villages in Nha Trang, you will have the opportunity to immerse yourself in the simple life of the people. Surely this will be an unforgettable memory on your self-sufficient trip to Nha Trang. With a history of nearly 200 years, Ninh Thuy Fishing Village is one of the fishing villages with a long tradition in Nha Trang. Through the changes of time, this place still retains its traditional culture and peaceful pace of life. Coming to Ninh Thuy Fishing Village, visitors will immerse themselves in a rustic, ancient space. Old. The most impressive of which is the rudimentary village gate. The walls are built of mortared coral, bearing a very unique mark. To Van Gia Fishing Village. Away from all the hustle and bustle of the city, Van Gia Fishing Village is located not too far from the city center but still retains the appearance of a peaceful small town by the sea. Coming to Van Gia Fishing Village, in addition to admiring the scenery and walking on the beach to check in, visitors can also explore the fishing life of fishermen by participating in fishing, asking people's life stories and professions. local and enjoy delicious coastal dishes. Long Sun Pagoda Nha Trang, a spiritual tourist destination loved by many people. Long Sun Pagoda Nha Trang was built in the 19th century, then, after being repaired and upgraded many times, it was officially completed. It was established in 1940. Besides the name Long Sun, the pagoda is often known by local people by other names, White Buddha Pagoda or Dang Long Tu. The overall architecture of the pagoda is quite impressive, every detail at the pagoda is clearly visible, showing sharpness and sophistication, from the curved tiled roof to the design inside the main hall, all bring you a very familiar feeling, close to the traditional village architecture. Typical Vietnamese. Besides the architectural attractions, when you come to Long Sun Pagoda Nha Trang, you can also admire many large Buddha statues displayed everywhere in the temple grounds. At the same time, this is also an extremely sacred destination, so it attracts many tourists from surrounding areas to visit and worship, especially on the full moon days or the first day of every month. And when setting foot on the steps at the last step, you will encounter an extremely large white Buddha statue, standing out in the sky. Even though the statue has gone through a lot of rain and wind, it still has a pure, white color and is extremely outstanding. The Buddha statue is made of concrete, extremely large, 24 m high and up to 10 m wide. The statue's construction was officially started in 1964 and completed in 1965, by Venerable Thich Duc Minh, president of the Kon-Hoa Buddhist Association at that time, in conjunction with sculptor Kim Dien. Nha Trang Stone Church, Mountain, beautiful ancient Gothic architecture. The Mountain Church is a Catholic church, visited by many domestic and foreign tourists. This is a historical and cultural building in Nha Trang. The church was built during the French colonial period, so the architecture is bold, French style. Stone Church in the Bomfilled Formation Process Stone Church, also known as Mountain Church, official name, Christ the King Cathedral, is a Catholic church in Nha Trang City, starting construction September 3, 1928 and completed on September 3, 1928 May 1933. To create a site on the top of Bong Mountain, with a height of 12 m, people had to use about 500 landmines during construction. History of Nha Trang Stone Church. Around 1885, Nha Trang consisted of only a few scattered fishing villages at the mouth of the Cai River and along the coast. At that time, there were about 300 parishioners living concentrated in Cho Moi Parish, Ngo Si Hoi. In 1886, when the French placed a colonial government agency in Nha Trang, creating conditions for two important scientific research projects to be built, the Pasteur Institute, 1895, and the Institute of Oceanography, 1923. Fishermen gather to live near the Pasteur Institute. You just need to step through the Tien Dan door. In front of you will be two straight rows of chairs, neatly arranged in a path in the middle pointing straight to Jesus. The cathedral is very large and has a lot of light combined with curved arches, pointing straight to the sky, shaped like a very harmonious and beautiful arrow. On the walls are depicted paintings of the Lord's suffering life through 14 altars. Nha Trang Stone Church, an absolute plus point with the combination of color and light covering the entire cathedral. Light from both east and west directions is designed to make the most of it. Use blue, red, and rose colors. When light shines in, it will create a colorful space inside the cathedral, expressing majesty and mystery with a very unique character. Although it is over 90 years old and has experienced many rains and suns, the mountain church still retains its ancient architectural values with its unique structure. Currently, the church is included in the list of relics and landscapes of Kon-Hoa province. Regretful, and looking forward to the day it will return. All of the above is just a very small part of the attractions of Nha Trang. If you have time, go to the islands, experience with the fishermen, go to Van Phong Bay. It seems that every tourist has a little regret in them because if only they had more time. How nice, to experience all the things that should be experienced here.